Hello. Welcome to this live stream. My name is Lauren Cercione. I am a 21-year fitness professional, and in the last 2 years, I have been incorporating energetics into my fitness business. And we're in the Solar Plexus month. And I am so excited to share this with you, although I'm keeping my cool right now. The Solar Plexus, as you probably know, is a chakra. And in the new paradigm, lots of things are changing in the world. We can clearly see that. We already have new infrastructures being formed. And we have a lot of conversations about cellular memory, ancestors, lineages, having these inner knowings come back to life. And I experienced a lot of that in 2020. And for Solar Plexus month that we're here, it's July 5th, 2022, I've decided to embody what the Solar Plexus means to me and how I've worked with it, by doing stuff on social media. Hi, Brooke. So if you scroll through my feed, and if you're watching the replay on YouTube, if you go to my Instagram, it's Lauren Cercione, you'll see that there is going to be lots of yellow for the solar plexus, lots of orange for the sacral, and then lots of red for the root chakra. And what I've been doing is focusing on one chakra at a time and how I perceive them to function, how we can actually use them, just like we would use a barbell or a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a piece of Pilates equipment. The chakra and energetic system to me is very functional, is very systematic, is very matter of fact in a lot of ways, programmable, predictable, mathematical, reliable. Plus all the crazy spiritual stuff that happens along with it. So I've been refocusing on the chakra column for myself. And when I was focusing on the root chakra, I started that in November. And then it kind of turned over into the sacral chakra early May. And then in May, I completed the sacral chakra in just a matter of weeks. And then I went into the solar plexus. Now that was different for me personally. And then if you see videos of me, you'll see my nails. You'll know what chakra we're in based on my nails from now on. So the other times that I have purposely programmed the chakras, I did 1 month at a time. This time, however, I'm setting the intention like I set it for the root chakra, and then I got the inner knowing that we had completed a cycle. And I said, well, then what's next? It's sacral. Sacral happened faster than the root chakra. And so I'm sharing this with you. Hey, Simon, because I'm going through a process for myself at the same time that I'm sharing with you the chakra system as it pertains to your body image, your diet, your exercise, and your self-care. I'm going through the chakra column no longer with the body image stuff or with my diet and exercise because I've already cleaned all of that stuff up. I'm now focusing on how can I communicate what it is that I have this inner knowing? How can I own my inner knowings? And how can I talk about them in a coherent way? How can I distill my experience with the Akashic records and lineage work and ancestry work and turning on mechanical instruments that are invisible? Like, how can I actually walk people through that process because I systematized it? Now, how can I communicate that? So that's what I've been focusing on for myself. And as I share that with people, thanks, Brooke, it is scary because it's not in a book. It's not, there's probably elements of it in books, but when I've looked for research, I've had confirmations that I was on the right track, but there's nothing that's laid out of the chakra system and what I've done for myself the way I've done it for myself. So I'm here as a new paradigm person talking about the chakras and energy work and inner work. So that's what I've been working on. And in the solar plexus, I'm going to be displaying to you what divine masculine energy looks like, sounds like, does like. I'm going to continue to make this feed something, in my shares and my experience, something that you get to actually see the embodiment of being strategic with the chakras as mechanical tools. They don't look like cones to me. I don't have a front cone and a back cone like you see in the books. I have magnetic spheres that conduct energy that I program. So for the solar plexus, I'm going to be going live here every other day, and on the odd days I'm going to be on Facebook. And then every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, I'll be giving a guided activation, meditation, and integration for the solar plexus. So we're going to be spending a lot of time together navigating this energy center, because it is so powerful in ways that you probably have not thought of. And when I extend my codes to you, my binary codes of positive, negative understandings, you will activate other things in you. So my codes are going to help unlock your codes that have been dormant, because that's just the way energy works, and this is the language that we use to describe it. And there is a donation link, I should say, on my website, laurensarcione.com. You can donate to me for meditations if you'd like to. But everything that I'm doing, the only call to action that's going to be on these videos is to join us in the Body Energetics Facebook group if you want to do the guided meditations. And this is all, number one, me practicing in this solar plexus month, and number two, giving you the gift so that you can awaken to your own gifts. And if you want to do a financial exchange, that's cool, but I'm not asking you for that. So the topic of this video is how to power up to full capacity in your solar plexus. Because I want you to really think about each energy center, the solar plexus especially, as a battery pack. Oh, Brooke says your codes have been life-changing for me. So have yours for me. So to power it up to full capacity is going to be full capacity when you're living your life with the intention that you're doing your best and you're at full capacity. Because if you think about our life experience as water, and if we have still water, that's where mosquitoes can breed. We don't really want still water. We want water that's moving so that things that are pests don't grow in them. If we are a human and we refuse to grow and we refuse to challenge ourselves, we grow things. We grow the wrong way. We grow more discontent, more disgruntled, more sad, more depressed. We spiral down. And so if we are at an operating system that we're at full capacity, it's a full capacity that we're at choice, that we're always giving our best. And this does not mean to be confused with that you don't take breaks or you don't care for yourself. It's actually like exactly that. Because when we're operating at full capacity with the solar plexus, this is masculine energy. And masculine energy in a divine mind, a mind that's nurturing and caring and empathetic and steers the ship, is protective, directs the course, provides protein, sustenance, protects. That masculine energy is doing things out of love. And so when we have masculine energy in our solar plexus that's operating out of love, that's resonance. And I love Dr. Bruce Lipton. He talks about this, that love means that you're in resonance. You're in vibrational resonance. So love doesn't have to be this big romantic thing that eludes us. Love is resonance. So if we have our masculine energy operating at full capacity, hey, Allie, it's operating from a place of love. That means that the solar plexus is getting energy from the high heart, not the human heart, the high heart, and it's taking cues from the sacral chakra. Because eventually what our goal is, if goal is the right word, eventually what our full capacity is that we actually don't have separation between each chakra. It morphs into a center column that is the Hara line that connects us as above and below. Or above and below, as above, so below. And if you look at the Hara line, you can look it up. This is our energetic connection. This is like the cord that you want to connect. And so when we have the chakras working together, we have less separation within the consciousnesses of the chakras. And if we zoom out and we look at some of the spiritual conversations about what the fifth dimension is and what the new earth is and what the ascension is, unity consciousness comes up. And the unity consciousness that is the large conversation right now is about people in a unified mind. And that's partially true because there's a unified mind field of all humanity. Dr. Stephen Greer talks about this, the consciousness field of one singular human mind. And then there's another conversation that we all have to accept everybody as one, but in that conversation, there's further delineation of what it means to be human. So it's very confusing, but unity consciousness, from my perspective of how I understand how the energy works, and the energetic spiritual community that I'm in, and the teachings that I've read from Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, some of the other ascended masters, the unity consciousness is actually within each singular human, unifying their mind. And if we keep going down the rabbit hole, we find out that we have the unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind. When that's unified, we have metacognition, where we understand our strategies, and then we can pick what strategy we want to use, and we understand the reason why we're picking the strategy, where the root cause or like the root problem was that we created that solution or strategy. So we have this unification in our mind where we're being able to observe our reality, and then we have a unification of the chakra column. And the chakra column is like a bunch of little minds, MINDSs, where they all have their own unique function, but they all work together and energize each other and eventually become one. So with the solar plexus, we have the information coming from the high heart, which is the high heart of your high self, your light body. And when we have a sacral chakra that's related to the subconscious mind, that we're able to observe our triggers and our emotions without them taking us out, that sacral center becomes your divine feminine energy that influences the solar plexus of the divine masculine, that allows the, the function of the communication between the high heart, the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra. Allow the solar plexus to navigate your human in this dimension. And powering it up, being at full power, is a state of coherency within our human brain and our human heart. And we get that with brain and heart coherence breathing from Heart Math Institute. Inhaling for 5 seconds in, exhaling for 5 seconds out. Imagining something that would make us feel if we experienced it from the outside in: love, joy, appreciation, kindness, or care. That's what brings us into coherency with changing the vibration from our heart, that then influences the neural connections to be constructive thoughts and creative thinking. When we can maintain that state for longer periods of time, no matter what stressful thing happens on the outside, we're able to have the intuition of our high heart be more active all the time, instead of just having to wait until you're relaxed or you're in meditation. So when those two things are coherent, and we've done the work to manage our emotions in our sacral chakra and ride the waves of our emotions instead of being overrun by them or, taken down into the current by them, then the solar plexus gets to have information above and below of how to help design the human's experience. Because when the solar plexus is getting information from the high heart, that's the intuition. That's the inner guidance. So then the solar plexus gets to shine this light, and it gets to project positive imagery. And so if we think about feminine energetics and masculine energetics and what the body is on another feminine level, the body is the feminine of the material universe, while energy in the immaterial universe or the non-physical universe is the masculine. This relates to sperm as the masculine energetic charge of positive when we're first conceived, and it relates to the vellum, I can never remember what the word is, the ovum surrounding the egg in your mother's womb is a negative charge. And so when this solar plexus is fully powered, it's actually creating in our 3D reality the positive of what our negative state is. And the negative state in this context is that our body or our emotions are like a plaster mold for us to create a mask, or a ceramic mold for us to pour in clay slip to then have a ceramic mug be made. The solar plexus is actually going to start printing in the 3D. And it's doing this because we're able to maintain this brain and heart coherency, and we're able to manage our emotions. Our emotions become a director, or like a little nudge to our mind and what we actually want to create or where we need to course correct. And so this full capacity of this solar plexus, it's going to remain in full capacity even when you mess up, when you're able to remember that it's an operating system and that you're a human having a crazy experience in 2022. You're a human at a volatile time in civilization. You're going to mess up. And so when we're in full capacity and we're doing the work to remain brain and heart coherent, to allow us to tap into that intuition of the high heart, which helps us manage our emotions so that we can feel emotions come in and we can feel triggers start to come into our field. But instead of being overrun, we have this conversation. The metacognition kicks in, where a thought comes up that could be destructive and could be reactionary, but because you have this coherency with the brain, the human heart, and the inner being, high self, high heart, and the emotional intelligence to sense triggers instead of being taken out by the triggers, you're able to make decisions in real time of what to do. And it's this masculine action taking, whether we're right or wrong, whether we get it right, where we mess it up, whether we don't have a good interaction with a person that we're making this decision about, if we can stay in our center, we're able to recalibrate and make that solar plexus even stronger. Because what happens is, if we're in that coherent state with the two hearts and the brain, if we're able to be observant in our metacognition of the reasons why we chose what we chose, so our strategy, and then we're able to observe the outcome of our choices as constructive or destructive, and then make a decision again of, well, I can move forward in this way, or this way. I can beat myself up and guilt and shame myself about what I did, or I can right now learn from it. And so it's this cycling of energy, the lived experience, the going forth, the doing, the getting the work done, masculine energy. But the reason why we're not going to go toxic with it is because we have that connection with the brain, the human heart, the high heart, and the emotions from the sacral chakra. So as we get into more and more of these live streams that I'm going to be doing, and definitely follow me on Facebook because we'll be there, and I'm sure the vibe is going to be a little bit different over there. We're going to talk about different topics of how it pertains to the solar plexus, how your life experience pertains to the solar plexus. Because in this context of being able to power up to full capacity, this is you making decisions and being mindful in real time. The energetics of it is that you've gotten it practiced at getting brain and heart coherent so that you have access to your high heart, your intuition, so that when you feel emotional triggers, you don't get overrun by them. You surf them. You don't get caught in the current and be reactionary. And because you're human and you do get reactionary, you have the capacity to get yourself coherent again, get back into your high heart, observe whatever decision you made, understand the why that you made the decision, and then extract the lesson from it right then and there. And then you're back to full capacity. So we have the real life lived experience of making decisions, and then, I don't want to say suffering the consequences, but like dealing with whatever happens after that. Like if we make a decision and we keep growing and growing, amazing. When we make a decision and it doesn't work out, that's our recalibration time. So we're being mindful in our human, and on the energetic side, we're actually using these systems inside. And what I've noticed about thinking about these systems inside is that I'm empathic, I'm a highly sensitive person, and I have run from the sensitivities, self-abuse, depression, isolation. And when I started doing this shadow work and didn't have an understanding of my feelings, like I've been so delayed in my responses to people. Like something would come up and it would hurt my feelings, but I wouldn't say the right thing in that moment. I would either be reactionary or I would just clam up and not able to even identify what it was that I was upset about. I just knew I was upset. And so looking at the energetic side of how the mechanics function has given me a language to understand myself. And I used to be really embarrassed in that I was doing things the wrong way. But the more I learned about the light body and that there is an energetic field and there is an aura and things get stored in it and distorted and it changes color and it gets crunchy, I was like, oh, I'm an energy worker. All of my wounds from early childhood have been mental and emotional wounding. So I've been preparing for this my whole life, and I have a language for it that helped me understand how I shut myself off because of my pain. And by shutting myself off because of my mental emotional pain, my body exhibits pain and symptoms. And so understanding how the energetics work, how these tools within work, has given me an understanding about myself and has been like my parent, like my inner parent, to make decisions and start living my life in a different way in my human. And so this solar plexus month, I mean, I've been a workhorse very much in lots of years of my life. I've run myself to the ground because I was doing it from a place of lack, because I needed to achieve to be accepted and loved. And now I'm doing it because I just feel like I'm ready. I feel like I've learned so much. And the more practice I get at sharing these gifts, the more people I help. And so by me showing you what solar plexus looks like to me, and when I mess up, and if I don't show up one day, and if I'm going to guilt myself, or whatever is going to come up for me is going to come up, I'm going to share it, because I've always shared. But I haven't shared so much of the capacity that I'm doing it because I believe in myself and I already feel whole. I've shared so much from a place of lack. So I have no idea exactly what's going to happen in the next 26 days, but we'll see. We'll do it together. And like I said in the beginning, body energetics guided activations, meditation, and integrations are going to be Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to actually go into your solar plexus, you want to hear about it in a more in-depth way for whatever's coming through for that meditation. If you want to do the meditation with me and then stay for the integration, because it's not enough just to do the inner work and meditation. Whatever information you find, because you are going to find information stored in your solar plexus, I'm going to give you tools to integrate that information so that you can grow and you can power up to full capacity in the next couple of weeks. Okay? I love you. Thank you for being here. I will see you maybe on Facebook tomorrow, maybe on the YouTube replay, or maybe in 2 days when I'm back here on Instagram.